Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about email attachment, photo mail, and some other items here in the Share tab. So go ahead and select, let's say, create panel number 2 and choose email attachment. This will automatically add it to the attachment. You can add other photos if you like. If you don't, you can always subtract them. Okay, you can have a maximum photo size for 800 by 600. You can choose different sizes and you can choose different JPEG compressions, and this will tell you the estimated size, which is nice to know. Once you're happy with that, you go ahead and click next. You can add a message. You can select your recipients to send this to. If you don't have any recipients, you can add new contacts or a group, or you can import using the vCard files or Microsoft Outlook. Okay, then you could just go ahead and click next again, and this will tell you, guess what? You can't use the service because you don't have Microsoft Outlook, and that is my biggest drawback to Photoshop Elements. Yes, it does say I can use Adobe email service, and that's nice, but to be honest with you, how many of us are using Yahoo or Gmail these days? And I think that these options should be provided, but that's one of my biggest gripes. So I can't use email attachments. So then I'll go, okay, well, let me try photo mail. And again, photo mail is the same thing. You can add photos to it or subtract. It tells you the size. You click next. You see similar things here. But when you click next, it's going to provide you a little bit more options here. I'm going to downsize this so you can see a little bit better here. Bear with me. Okay, there you go. And let me just pull this up here. And this gives you different options here that you can add different frames if you want. Okay, and then you can play around with these little things here. Choose the stationery, and then you can choose a custom layout. You click the next step, and see you get layout options here. Next step, and then guess what? You need Microsoft Outlook, or you can use the Adobe email service. So again, there's my gripe. But if you want to see the Adobe email service, you will go to Edit, Preferences, General, go to Sharing, and instead of choosing your email client as Microsoft Outlook, you can do Adobe email service, and you can sign up for that, which is nice, don't get me wrong, but I just wish they had an option for Yahoo and Gmail. I don't know, it's just me. Now, we could talk about burn video, online video sharing, and mobile phone and players, but unfortunately you need Premiere Elements for that. Again, that is bundled with Photoshop Elements for a nice price, just so you know. You have two other famous options here, share to Flickr, which everybody knows, and share to Facebook. When you click share to Facebook, it's going to say, hey, I need authorization to post some photos to Facebook. Can I have this authorization? You're going to say sure. You're going to click authorize, and when you click authorize, this is going to come up, okay? And then you're going to say keep me logged in. You're going to log in, so this is hopefully going to authorize it. And then it says you may now close the window and return to the application. So I'm going to close the window, and it's going to ask me to complete the authorization. And of course mine says error because I have a little problem with it. But once it's authorized, you can just upload your photos to Facebook. Now, once you've authorized and you allowed Adobe Photoshop Elements to work with Facebook, as I would say, you can upload photos to an existing album that you have on Facebook. When you do this, it's going to show you those pictures, and you know how it's set one way, then two others beside it. I tend not to like that. I like to upload photos to a new album, and sometimes I just do it one by one, so that way people can see that one photo at a time. But that's just a personal preference for me. You can name your new album, location, description, who can see it, and then standard, and then let's see here. Let me just put some information so you can, and then you click upload and done. So that is one of the best options that I like. Okay, so let me close this. Do you want to stop using the service? Yes, and Flickr is the same way. You can also share your video to YouTube, but then again, that's Premiere Elements again. You do have another thing here called more options. You can choose a PDF slideshow, which is nice. So you can add all of these photos here. Okay. You can choose a maximum photo size. You can use your JPEG compression. You can name your file. We'll call it photos, just to be silly. Then you can click next. Then you can select your recipients. Click next, and it will now create a PDF slideshow for you, tell you this is your size, your speed, and if your message size exceeds 1 megabyte, consider burning a CD or using an online service. Do you want to continue? I'm going to say yes. And I have another problem that I need Microsoft Outlook. Okay, So the Share tab is great and that allows you to post to Flickr and to Facebook. And if you have Microsoft Outlook, you can use these other options a lot more easier than I can. But unfortunately, I don't use that, so I have a problem. And there are some other options, but they're used for Premiere Elements. Well, thank you for being with me in this 19 chapter tutorial about Photoshop Elements, and I hope that you continue along and continue to Photoshop or Premiere Elements tutorials that I'll be posting real soon.